Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod Science Classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 5th May 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 7 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says foreign aid channeled to central government facilities. So this article mainly talking about this foreign aid. So in day before yesterday also we studied about this foreign assistance. So we got number of medical supplies and as well as medical medicines, and also we got majorly oxygen cylinders, oxygen concentrators from different countries here, right? So in this way this article will be important regarding international relations point of view, which comes under GS paper 2. So now let us try to see this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that around 40 lakh items, they includes oxygen cylinders and as well as medicines which are efficient for treating of this COVID-19 and as well as mask. Okay, so we received as foreign aid here, and these are mainly distributed to 38 institutions and hospitals, and these 38 institutions and hospitals, they are mostly run by central government in 31 states and as well as union territories. So this is context, and now let us see some important details. So if you see details here, emergency aid continued into the country from various countries. Okay, so to our India we got medical aid and as well as some emergency aid from different countries here. So we got about 7 tankers with 20 metric tons of liquid medical oxygen from UAE. So this is first time we got this shipment of this liquid medical oxygen to India. And next one is UK with Indian Air Force 450 oxygen cylinders. They were ferried to Chennai. Okay, so here from UK we got 450 oxygen cylinders, and by Indian Air Force they were mainly ferried to Chennai. And next one is shipment from Kuwait. Also we received this shipment from Kuwait, and in that shipment we got 282 oxygen cylinders, 60 oxygen concentrators and ventilators and as well as other medical supplies. So this is just of this topic. Okay, and now let us see next article. So before seeing that, I will give you a small suggestion. Please open your atlas and you have to see where is this UAE present, and you have to see boundary countries, and if at all any water bodies are present you have to see that, and also regarding Kuwait. And now let us see next article. Title says 86 held in Sri Lankan waters. So this article mainly talking about our 86 Indians. They are held in Sri Lankan waters. So if you see map here, here we have India, here we have Sri Lanka here. So line which is mainly separating here is we have Pak state, right? Pak state and Gulf of Mannar which is present here, and it is dividing here India from Sri Lanka here, right? So here we have water and here we have water. So as you know, here we have exclusive economic zone. So beyond this exclusive economic zone, that water comes under international waters, right? But if you see here, it is very much less here between exclusive economic zone of Sri Lanka and exclusive economic zone of India. So because of this, we have a line here which mainly separates area of Indian water and area of Sri Lankan water. So what happened officially, we can say occasionally, whenever here fishermen from Tamil Nadu, they are going for fishing here, they will cross this line and finally they will reach this Sri Lankan waters. So whenever these fishermen enter the Sri Lankan waters, Sri Lankan Navy comes and these fishermen, they are taken into custody by this Navy of Sri Lanka here. So this is the thing we are mainly facing issue between India and Sri Lanka, that is fishermen issue. So this article will be important regarding international relations, which comes under GS paper 2. And now let us try to discuss this topic in a very great detail. So this article mainly talking about Sri Lankan waters. So if you see context, there are as many as 86 persons from India. They are traveling on 11 boats. They caught by Sri Lankan Navy in the Sri Lankan waters. Okay, as these people, they tried to enter nation, and possibly they are fleeing the raging pandemic here. So this is a statement which is given by Sri Lankan Navy. So if you are talking about further details regarding this article, Sri Lankan Navy intercepted mid-sea and immediately informed that Indian High Commission asked to make arrangement for Indian Coast Guard or Navy to take away them back to India. So these are some important things. So in this context, Sri Lankan Navy said that because of increasing patrol along island north and as well as northwestern coast, it mainly prevented some illegal immigration from India from entering into Sri Lankan waters here. So this is a statement which is given by Sri Lankan Navy. So why here 86 people they are found in the Sri Lankan Navy? Because Tamil Nadu mainly observing an annual 61 day ban on fisheries, okay, such that they will allow breeding here. So whenever they are going for fishing and whenever they are catching these fishes, all then what happen? So at any point of time, the fishes in this area will be extincted, right? We cannot find any fishes in this area. So because of this, we need to give some sufficient time mainly for breeding of these fishes also. So because of this, Tamil Nadu state government observed 61-day ban on these fisheries. So this 61-day ban which will be allows for breeding in Park Strait here, okay. So because of this, now here fishermen they are using this mechanized boat and they are entering into Sri Lankan waters, okay. So in Sri Lankan waters they are accused for fishing, okay. So this is the thing which is given in this article and this is gist of this topic. And now let us say next article. So if you are talking about this next article, just 1 minute. So if you're talking about next article, it mainly talks about how does concentrator help. So this article mainly talking about oxygen concentrator. So if you see this instrument is like a suitcase, okay. So this is oxygen concentrator here. So this article will be very much important regarding GS paper 3 under science and technology, because you need to know how this oxygen concentrator will also work, because you can expect some prelims based question from this topic here, okay. So now we are going to discuss about this oxygen concentrator in a very great detail, okay. So if you see here, so why we need this oxygen concentrators now. So if you're talking about background here, now we are in second wave of coronavirus. And in this second wave, it is the most virulent. That means we can see more than 3 lakh cases per day. That is within 24 hours, we are seeing new infections of 3 lakh cases every day. That means in 3 days, we are seeing 1 million new cases and about 10,000 deaths are seen because of this second wave of this coronavirus. So because of this, there is an increased demand for oxygen. So, but we are facing oxygen supply which is very much lacking. So, there is a lack of oxygen supply in states. So, because of this, now we are focusing on these oxygen concentrators. So, if you are talking about oxygen concentrators here, so there is increased demand for medical oxygen, okay. So, because of this, states now struggling to keep pace in demand, okay. Mainly they are moving towards oxygen concentrators. So, why oxygen concentrators here? So whatever medical oxygen that is present in industrial units, what happened? So they are mainly supplied through cylinders and they cannot be operated at home, okay. So whatever cylinders we are seeing in hospitals, it will be like black color cylinders are present, okay. So these cylinders, they need some equipment here. So we need to maintain some control of flow of oxygen from these cylinders, because they are mainly stored at high pressure, right. So because of this, we need some training to operate this type of oxygen cylinders. But when we are using this oxygen concentrators, they do not need much training, okay. So everything will be coded in that, okay. So we can go for simple adjustment. When we want to regulate anything like concentration of oxygen or increase the flow of air here, we can easily adjust that. So because of this oxygen concentrators, they are mainly used at home. So let us see when these oxygen concentrators are needed. So in our blood, so whenever oxygen saturation level which falls below 94%, then it is one of sign of respiratory distress. So in this sign of respiratory distress, we need to provide some oxygen from externally here. Now in the second wave of this coronavirus, we are facing some shortage in hospital beds and as well as shortage in oxygen, okay. And we are seeing saturation levels of very much decreasing in patients who are suffering with this coronavirus. So because of this, we need this oxygen concentrators. So if you are talking about working here, so here the air which is present in our atmosphere, it will be taken by this concentrator, okay. And after taking this air it is mixture of nitrogen and oxygen, right. nitrogen is about 79% and oxygen is about 21%. So they use some filters, okay. So by using these filters, it will only allow oxygen inside this, and finally this oxygen will be provided to patient by using nasal cannula. So this is about working mechanism of this oxygen concentrator. So if you are talking about some more details here, so this oxygen concentrator mainly contains compressor and also sieve bed filter. We are using here zeolite, okay. So it will take atmospheric oxygen and it will passes through this compressor, and there will be one sieve will be present. So this sieve mainly made up of zeolite. So it will only allow oxygen into this oxygen concentrator, and this will be connected to a pipe, and finally it will be given through ventilators, or we can say here nasal cannula here, okay, to patients. So this is about gist of this topic. I hope it is clear. And now let us see next article. Title says don't repeat RT-PCR test on those positive. So this is a statement which is given by ICMR. So regarding this ICMR, we discussed number of times basic facts. So it is your work now to revise those facts regarding this ICMR. So in this context, you need to focus on what is this RT-PCR. So why ICMR gave this decision or took this decision not to repeat this RT-PCR for those who tested positive with this rapid antigen test. So now let us try to see this article in a very great detail. So this article mainly talking about RT-PCR test. So if you are seeing context here, it mainly says that there is increased load on laboratories because of increase in level of cases. ICMR issued an advisory on testing during this second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. So in this context, ICMR came up with some recommendations. First one is it gave an advice against repeating of RT-PCR test on those who have been tested positive here. So if they are already tested positive, there is no need of going for this RT-PCR. So next one is RT-PCR testing on healthy individuals undertaking some interstate travel. Okay, mainly we need to reduce that. So whenever we are reducing that, it will be also reducing load which is mainly facing by these laboratories. And next one is here, whenever we are facing some challenges like meet the expected testing and as well as target due to some extraordinary case load, and as well as staff getting infected with this COVID-19. So these are some challenges we are facing now. So if you are talking about ICMR, it also recommended that this RT-PCR test should not be repeated on individuals. Okay, so whenever they are getting positive from this rapid antigen test here, there is no need to go for this RT-PCR test. So if you are talking about some facts regarding this, what is RT-PCR? So it stands for rapid antigen test here, that is this is a rapid antibody and reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. So RT-PCR mainly stands for rapid antibody. Okay, it is reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. So how it works? So first, it will be mainly useful for diagnosing of SARS-CoV-2 virus, that is RNA. So genetic material in this virus here is RNA. We are going to identify whether this RNA which is present in our body or not here. Okay, so we are taking some nasal or nasopharyngeal secretions here, and in that samples we are mainly testing with several chemical solutions, and finally we will remove protein and fats in that solution here. Okay, and we are finally extracting only RNA, that is genetic material of virus. So after getting this RNA or after extracting this RNA, so we will go for real-time RT-PCR setup. Usually that go through 35 cycles. Okay, so how many cycles we are going, then we can generate more copies of this RNA here. So after this 35 cycles here, we are going to get around 35 billion new copies of this viral DNA. Okay, and these new strands of viral DNA sections, they are built, okay, and release some fluorescence dye. So based on this fluorescence dye, we can identify number of virus that is present in that person. Okay, so this is about this technology. And now let us talk about next article. Title says government give nod for 5G trials, Chinese technology giants left out. So this article mainly talking about 5G technology, and this 5G technology is very much highly in news, and this topic will be important regarding geospatial science and technology. So now let us try to discuss about this article in a great detail. So if you see, this article mainly talking about this 5G technology. So if you are talking about context, it mainly says that Department of Trade gave permission to this telecom service providers, that is TSP, telecom service providers, to conduct trials for use and as well as application of 5G technology. So because of this, Department of Trade which gave permission to our telecom service providers here, so it formally leaves out any Chinese companies, for example Huawei and as well as ZTE from 5G race in India. So this is context of this topic. And if you're talking about further more details regarding this topic, it mainly says that the applicant of this telecom service provider, so applications are mainly given for this Bharat Airtel Limited and as well as Reliance Jio and Vodafone India's Limited here. So duration of this trial, it is just 6 months here. So under this time period of 2 months, they will go for procurement and as well as setting up of equipment itself. Okay. So if you're talking about some facts regarding this 5G is, what is this 5G? 5G is nothing but 5th generation. So what are key features? So these key features will be very much important for prelims and also even mains. So if you're talking about key features, they are mainly multimeter wave spectrum here. So we can see here multimeter wave spectrum that mainly ranges from 30 to 300 Hz here. So because of this high capacity here, we can also even send large amounts of data, okay, at a very short time, okay, at a very speed with a short time. And next one is we have upgraded data, upgraded speed, that is internet speed, which is very high. So it is about 20 Gbps. And if you're talking about LTE here, so we are going for this upgradation of LTE. And if you're talking about different bands in which we can see this 5G technology operates, that is low band is there, mid band is there, and highest band is there. In low band, we can see maximum speed of not more than 100 Mbps. And in mid, when we are comparing with this low, it will be somewhat good, okay. So this will provide some other high speed limitations regarding coverage area and as well as penetration of signals. So these are some important changes of this bands. And next one is next one is about high band. So high band, in this high band we can see highest speed, that is extremely limited. We can see some challenges like there will be extremely limited coverage here and signal penetration system. So these are some important things that you should remember regarding these bands. And now let us see what are hurdles. So first one is we do not have proper infrastructure. So whenever we want to move from 4G to 5G, we need to go for changing of infrastructure also. So we are lacking infrastructure. Next one is financial liability on consumer. So whenever they are going for transition from this 4th generation to 5th generation, here there will be also some amount that need to be paid by customers also. And next one is there is financial inadequacy. That means there is lack of flow of cash and adequate capital, and as well as suitable telecom companies that are seen in this capital inadequacy. So in this capital inadequacy, we are going to have some lack of flow of cash, okay, and also some adequate capital. And now let us talk about what are applications. First one is it will be very much helpful for high speed mobile network. It will also helpful for Internet of Things. It will be also very helpful for entertainment and as well as multimedia. And next one is smart cities. It will also helpful for smart farming and as well as telemedicine initiatives also it will be helpful, and as well as for some industrial applications. So these are some important things that you should remember regarding this topic. And now let us see next article. Title says e-com, logistics, healthcare, driving grey collar jobs. So this article mainly talking about types of jobs, that is blue collar and grey collar. So what is important regarding this topic? Regarding this topic, you need to know what is this blue collar and as well as grey collar jobs, and you have to also talk about e-com, logistics, healthcare, and as well as driving blue. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 3 under economy, which comes under GS paper 3, and this topic will be important regarding especially from mains point of view. So now let us try to see this article in a great detail. So this article mainly talking about grey collar jobs. So what is context? So recently in India, we came up with one report. So this report says that there is significant rise in e-commerce, delivery, logistic, and as well as healthcare jobs placement in month of April. So in month of April, we saw these companies, or we can see here there is significant rise in e-commerce and as well as delivery, logistic, and as well as other theoretical jobs because of this, because of some things, okay. So because of some advantages mainly provided by this grey collar jobs and as well as some blue collar jobs, and as well as there is a rise of unemployment and many people who started moving from their cities to their hometowns, that is reverse migration. So because of all these things, there is increase in demand for grey collar and as well as blue collar jobs. So if you're talking about details, it mainly says that so blue and grey collar job platform, that is apna.co, it is mainly facilitated more than 20 million candidates to register in to come up with some interactions since pandemic. And next one is we have OLX people and as well as quicker jobs and as well as other social media platforms. They are also important for recruitment channels here. So they are also playing an important role for recruitment. Okay, and next one is India emerged as one of biggest countries. Okay, that is after this. Okay, so if you are talking about this India mainly emerged as one of biggest countries regarding gig economy workers and as well as platform workers here. So in this way, e-commerce platforms, they created their huge job opportunities in this market. And if you see in our country currently, there are more than 250 million blue collar and as well as grey collar jobs are present here. And if you see in our India logistic alone, it is expected to create about 3 million jobs by 2022. So this is about data. You have to remember this data for sure. And next one is we need to know about different collar jobs. So as an UPSC aspirant, you need to know about different collar jobs because this will be important from prelims point of view. So if you see first one, that is red collar jobs. So people who are working at primary level, that who at farmer or agriculture. So those people, they comes under this red collar workers, for example farmers and as well as farming staff, that is tenants, etc. And next one is blue collar jobs. So workers employed in secondary level, either in families or manufacturers, they comes under this blue collar. That means you have to remember at manufacturing level. And if you're talking about black collar, it means coal mining and as well as other mining activities. So people who are working in these activities, they mainly comes under this black collar jobs. And next one is pink collar. So this who are mainly comes under this pink collar jobs. So employees who are employing mainly in tertiary sectors like services, for example nurses, secretaries, elementary school teachers. So these all people will comes under this pink collar jobs. And next one is white collar. So here white collar means people with high intellectual property. Okay, for example employees who are employed in IT industries and as well as PSCs, people who want to work in SSCs and as well as tourism and entertainment industries, they all comes under this white collar jobs. And next one is yellow collar. Yellow collar means involved in some creative work, for example photography, filmmakers, directors and editors. And next one is green collar, mainly people who are working in natural environment, natural elements, for example solar, water or solar electricity, water, electricity and as well as air electricity. So people who are working in that areas, that mainly comes under this green collar. And next one is grey collar, means retired workers who are especially firefighters and as well as police and officers and healthcare professionals and as well as security guards, they will all comes under this grey collar. And next one is open collar, means staff mainly working on internet by using some necessary task here. So this type of study is called as open collar jobs. Okay, so this kind of people who are working in this area, they mainly comes under this open collar jobs. Okay, so this is about gist of this topic. I hope it is clear. And now let us see next article. So before seeing next article, I want to make a small announcement. So if you want to clear UPSC in 2022, we came up with one excellent, highly beneficial course, that is current affairs package along with mains answer writing practice. So how this course will be useful to clear UPSC 2022? So one thing you need to remember here is before entering into examination hall, you need to know at least 1.5 years current affairs for sure. And to cover this 1.5 years current affairs in a comprehensive manner, this course will be very much useful. Okay, and why we need to focus on current affairs? About 50 to 60 questions, either it may be prelims, mains or even interview. You can expect questions from this current affairs part. So mastering of current affairs is very important to clear this UPSC. And if you're talking about mains answer writing practice, many freshers, especially who are beginners, they ignore this mains answer writing practice. So because of this, finally they end up in failing in mains. Even though if they cleared prelims, they cannot clear mains without proper answer writing skills. So we are focusing on how to improve your answer writing skills in this course. And if you join this course, we also conduct prelims test on every Sunday. Okay, and we also provide you video explanation part. So in this way, this course it is designed as per UPSC demand. So finally, I want to say one thing, please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. So for further details, link which is given in description box. So please visit that once. And next one is, if you want to talk to me directly regarding this course, you can talk to me on this number 8074765513. Okay, and now let's come back and let us see next and last article of the day. That is an issue of lives versus livelihood. So this article mainly talking about migrant workers and their plight. So if you're talking about some brief background here, so in first wave of coronavirus in March, government imposed national-wide lockdown. So because of this national-wide lockdown imposition, so people who migrated to other state in search of work, they started moving towards their own hometowns. So because of this trend, it is called as reverse migration, and this reverse migration will have huge impact on our society and as well as on our economy also. So now let us try to discuss what is written in this article. So this article mainly talking about migrant workers. So if you see context, it mainly says that April 2021, so they are mainly going for some moderate levels of lockdown. So because of this lockdown imposition in some states, that led to temporary job loss for these people, okay, and employing some large number of informal people in any industry or in any factory here. So now these migrant people, they are facing much more problems, and as well they are much more vulnerable because there is lack of transportation, because there is job losses and there is no income in their hands, and there is loss of even rent accommodations, and as well as lack of sustainable income here, okay. So this is a thing that you should remember here. So if you're talking about data which is mainly given in this article, it mainly says that unofficially records figure that there is upward of about 4 lakhs between April 12, those people are transported, or those people they use this Indian railways, and Central Railways mainly sent back about 4.7 lakh migrants from, especially from Maharashtra itself. So if you're talking about government initiative, recently government announced that it is going to provide some free ration or free food grains of 5 kgs per person per month. It will be going to extend for 2 months, that is from April and for May here. So if you're talking about what are problems they are facing by these migrant workers, first one is coercion, that means there is no documented data regarding these migrants. And next one is there is lack of benefits. So these people are mainly working in informal sector. So because of this, they will not get any social security benefits. They will not eligible for company benefits regarding pensions and as well as insurance plans. And even they are working in many dangerous conditions. Even sometimes they may lose their life also. Right. So whenever, for example, in last year we studied many news, like whenever these people they started moving to their hometowns on their home, so whenever they are crossing this railway tracks also, so some people they have took rest on railway tracks. Suddenly one train came and that led to loss of life of about 13 to 14 migrant workers. Okay, so because of this, they are also working in a very dangerous conditions, and as well as whenever they are going to their home, they do not have proper sanitary conditions, okay, and they often spend very low quality of standard of life. And next one is there is also cultural differences. For example, people from Bihar and as well as Jharkhand, whenever they are shifting to Gujarat, Maharashtra here, so here in this Jharkhand and Bihar area, customs or culture is very much different when we are comparing to culture in this Maharashtra area. And next one is we are talking about education issues. So people or parents, whenever they are moving from one state to another state, so children of these parents, they will also miss this schooling, okay. Because of this, there is no protection for the children that is seen here. So in this context this article mainly says that there is lack of legal framework. So we already have Interstate Migrant Workers Act of 1979. So we need to go for some safeguard measures of this migrants in this act. And what is need here? The need here is we need to go for making of agriculture more profitable business. So because of this, whenever we are increasing agriculture business here, then what happens? People from these rural areas, they will not go for migration into other urban areas or other countries here. So this is first important thing. And next one is we need to go for concept of minimum floor income. So what is minimum floor income? That means we need to reduce the regional wage price differential. For example, if you are taking cost of this petrol or diesel, in one state the price will be like for example, let us say 90 rupees per liter, and in another state we can say 95 rupees, in another state we can say it is 85 rupees. So because of this, what happened, whenever you are going for this minimum floor level in income, then that will reduce regional wage price differentials also. And next one is we need to provide some social security scheme for these people who are working as migrants here. And next one is, if you're talking about in our constitution, also talk about welfare of people under directive principles of state policy, which mainly comes under part 4 of Indian constitution. Okay, and next one is we need to increase rural income. Okay, for example, we need to go for Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, we need to go for revival of MG Narega scheme here. Okay, and finally we need to strengthen this finally we need to go up with strengthening of this legal framework in India. Okay, and we can also provide some social security schemes like we have Shram Yogi Mandan, and as well as we can also provide some housing benefits for this migrant people. So this is gist of this topic. I hope it is clear. So this article mainly says that there is now again we are seeing plight of these vulnerable peoples, that is migrant peoples, but government do not take any steps. Okay, so this is the thing that is given in this article, and we discussed each and everything regarding this migrant workers regarding UPSC point of view. Okay, and I promise you I will come up with the Korean crisis in a separate lecture within 2 to 3 days. Okay, I will be posting in a separate video. I will not combine in any other Hindu analysis or PIB analysis. Okay, so I will be posting you separate Korean crisis video within 2 to 3 days with a detailed explanation. Okay, and now let us see today's main question. What are the key problems faced by migrant workers? So you have to write about some introduction regarding these migrant workers, and you have to write what are problems you are facing by these migrant workers, and you have to write about what are the steps which are taken by government for solving these problems. So try to do some research regarding what steps taken by government to solve this problem of this migrant crisis. So you have to write answer within 250 words. So don't exceed this word limit. So many students, they are exceeding their word limits. Okay, so try to write answer within this word limit. So by this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll this current affairs package. Thank you so much.